Hi, doing day 187. The fear of what my blog was about was fear of dying. And within this point, I realized that I was fearing death, fearing, obviously dying. And why I was fearing this was because I was fearing facing myself. And facing this moment of death where I've created in my mind this idea of what is to come, what I'll be like, and it's like this fear of not being able to make it in process and not being able to be here and establish what we're pushing, which is equality and oneness in living and equal money system, and having all that points fail, and me be not be a part of that. And so I realize this is sabotaging myself and my process, because within this I'm always looking at myself in self-judgment and seeing myself as not good enough and not making it in process, not doing enough, not being effective enough, not writing enough, and just always this point of I'm not enough, I'm not doing what I can do. And this is a point within myself that I have to walk in self-honesty, because obviously there's moments where I could be pushing myself more, but there's also other moments where I'm too hard on myself and I don't allow myself to breathe. And so there has to be a balance within that, and allow myself to just breathe and live. And within this point, realizing to stop existing within this fear, and within that stop self-judging myself of not being able to make it, not being good enough, because this is fueling the fear of dying. Because of death, I'm fearing this point of facing not being able to make it, but I'm never going to make it if I keep sabotaging myself here in the moment, here in my breath, and here when I have the opportunity to change myself. And I am in aspects. I'm walking my process, and so you can't really judge process because it is a process. And what is emphasized in this process, and what I've realized through being at the farm the last few months, and just more and more realizing this point of being here in breath and only walking step by step, breath by breath, here in breath, and that's it. Letting go of the past, letting go of the future, because within looking at the past and the future, you judge yourself and compare yourself to the past, and judge yourself and compare yourself to what you want to be in the future, and you're never here. You're in your head, in this timeline of past, future, many different kind of dimensions of thought and personalities that you kind of switch into. So there's many timelines going within yourself when you exist within the past and future, instead of being stable here in breath and walking process breath by breath, step by step. So I also realized that there's no reason to fear death, because it is what it is. In the fear, I'm wasting time, obviously, and fear isn't going to change anything. It just causes reactions, it causes constriction, it causes self-compromise. So just continually walking the same points of stopping fear when the thoughts come up, not going into the thoughts, not going into the energies. Stop the point of desire to be a certain way in process, and desire to make it in process, instead of just being here, walking step by step, and that's it. I'm doing my best in each breath, each step here. So this is really what I'm practicing, stopping the mind within each breath, and obviously stopping the fear of dying, because no matter if I'm here or in another dimension or whatever, when you die, if you're physical, you're here. Because life is here, and if you align yourself with the physical through breathing, you're the physical, so you are here. Like when animals die, they go back to the earth, they go back into the physical, and they regenerate into the physical again. Like the trees, they fall over and they, regenerate into the flowers, the soil. They give nutrition to the soil, the flowers, and the beings come up in other life forms. So when you're physical, you're here. You live. No matter if you actually die and go into another life form, you're still physical. You're still here. So death is just a process of rebirth, really, in the physical. And at the moment now, humans are not the physical, so when they die, they are in another dimension, and they're not physical, so they're not really here. They're, I don't know, non-existent. Their beingness is here, little bit that's left, but I've realized, and what I've understood, is most of ourselves dies at death because it was never real. It's just energy, the thoughts, the fears, the beliefs, the personalities. None of that remains at death, because that's only here through the mind, which is what's generating all this thought, energy, emotions, feelings, fears. And when the body dies, the mind dies as well. And what remains is a little bit of your beingness. And really, if you're physical, you'll be here. So what matters is here, what I'm walking, breath by breath, making the best of each moment, doing my best in process, and just walking the points and realigning myself with stability in the physical, and doing what's best for all. So I'm going to stop this fear of death, realizing that it's not real, and it's doesn't benefit anyone. Alright, thanks for watching, and see you next time.